is Xianxia? Why do we love it, and why is it addictive? So let's take it one step at a time. What is Xianxia? It is and this is straight from Wikipedia, and I'll expand on it a little bit. It is a type of Chinese martial arts novel genre developed within the wuxia genre that's heavily influenced by Taoism and Buddhism. It's basically a way of making martial arts novel writing supernatural, with more at stake, with more kind of fantasy elements, with dragons and spirits, ghosts, immortals, and magic, all sorts of things. And it usually always centers around one central theme of cultivation of the body, spirit, and mind to achieve greater goals through different circumstances and different situations that threaten the life of our MC, the main character. If you don't know some of these abbreviations that people really use a lot to describe these novels, MC means main character, OP means overpowered. There's a lot of those things like that. There's a lot of novels out there. So you'll see in the Reddit threads, people are like, ROTWRT or MW or what's another one? AWE is a will eternal. Like, so you kind of have to familiarize with a lot of these abbreviations, or you won't really understand what people are talking about. But it's pretty easy to do so by just looking through a lot of the novels that are out there. But I really like Xianxia because it's just very addictive. But to talk about why I like it, it's because there's so many satisfying moments. If I had to tell you why I enjoy it, it's the same reason I like Dragon Ball Z, right? Dragon Ball Z is an anime that takes a lot of the same kind of themes from wuxia and Xianxia. Like it has a lot of the same elements of, a main villain of the time growing past your limits to defeat that main villain through training and through different things that have to do with more than just your physical state, but your mental state. And then kind of the battles within are really fun. Xianxia has a great way of doing that as well. So it's preying upon my childhood love of Dragon Ball Z in a way, because as an American, that's what I got introduced to, the whole supernatural anime function. But it kind of fills that void that I had in my life, because I'm not a big fan of Dragon Ball Super. But I started reading these, and it's just so addictive. And why is it addictive? That's our third question for the side quest. One word, everybody: cliffhangers. I don't know what it is, but Cocoon Cow, Ergen, I Eat Tomatoes, all these authors are just phenomenal at creating cliffhangers with every single chapter. And it's the same kind of thing that you're reading a chapter and it ends and you're like, well, I have to wait 24, 48 hours, or maybe if you're reading one of the less updated novels, a week for the next chapter, and you're like, I'm going to go to Patreon and spend money to read that, because you're just left hanging on the edge of your seats, which can sometimes suck when it's within kind of an arc that seems like filler. Like, I know A Will Eternal had one about 300 chapters ago with, the whole romance thing with, it's like comedy, but it's also kind of filler arcs. But then when it's at those moments, like the most recent arc on A Will Eternal is like, oh, I gotta read that next chapter. That's why I'm 10 ahead of the rest of public chapters. That's why I can't talk about that novel so much, because I'm so far ahead, because I pay money to be so far ahead. Martial World's another one that I was like, oh man, this is just really intense. I want to read the next 2 chapters and don't have to wait. So I throw $5 at the Patreon. So every day I'm 2 chapters ahead of the public releases. So it's really fun, because the cliffhangers just always get you. They always get you. And the writers are just so good at them. So I think if I was to say why we're addicted to it, it's for the satisfying moments, which come from these themes we're going to be talking about in our main topic today. But it's also just the cliffhangers after cliffhanger after cliffhanger that for some reason, I never get tired of. I'll watch it on TV and I'll be so annoyed, but I'll read it in one of these novels and I'll be like, oh man, I can't wait. Which, it just, again, goes back to that centralized thing in my mind of Dragon Ball Z. Next time on Dragon Ball Z! Like, that's the kind of feel you get